Hey guys, it's ZEKKEN from Sentinels, and on this episode of ZOWIE's esports class, I'm going to be teaching you how to entry frag with Jett. I think some of the intangibles to being a good entry fragger is not being afraid to go in, being willing to take risks and make plays, just being able to react quick to what's happening around you, being fast to process what the right decision is or what's the next move to make. I think just having a lot of confidence in going in and being able to make the right decisions quickly is what makes a great entry fragger. At least in VALORANT, the more you play, the better your understanding will be of when it's appropriate or not to take risks or go for an extra fight or try and take some extra space. I think the context of the round and the utility is super important. Sometimes you get 2 kills on a site and it's appropriate because you know how they want to rotate. It's appropriate to take more space because you know it's free. You also need to know when to not make that play and be able to sit back and wait for a better opportunity. I think just having a good gauge of that, and it comes with time and playing a lot, but I think if you can make those decisions, it makes you really good. With Jett specifically, I think the number one thing for entering is trying to get the maximum value you can out of her dash, trying to take as much space as possible with it and doing it safely. So the very standard thing to do would be to smoke and dash into it and then go from there. Maybe you have a flash from a teammate or a dart to be able to support you. But like I said before, the context of the util and trying to play around it is super, super important. So say for example, Cyphers love to put this trip that goes from here to here. You can't necessarily just dash through that because you're going to get tagged by that trip and dragged all the way back. So you want to have your ways of playing around it. You could go for an updraft dash to bypass the trip. You could ask for your Sova to shock it. You could go for a different updraft dash, maybe go to this spot, or maybe updraft dash to top site. There's a lot of different things you can do depending on the utility of the opponents and what your teammates have to offer you. You just have to be able to take all of those into account and then try and make the best decision you can when you're using this dash. I think she's such a popular entry fragger because her abilities aren't super, super difficult, but they are very fun. I mean, it's not a crazy execution test to just be able to dash into a site. You know, you hit 2 buttons and you're good to go. But you can be very creative with it. Like I was saying before, you can go in a ton of different directions. You can go up, you can go, forward to the side, get crazy, updraft dash like this, try and fight the spawn guy. You can kind of just do anything with it. And I think, especially with the knives too, being able to updraft dash in the air, take all the fights you can, I think with how easy it is and how creative you can get and how many things you can do, it just makes it really fun for new and advanced players. With Jett, it's super important, especially on defense. Being able to use your dash at the right moment or conserve it until the right moment is super important. You don't want to pop your dash and then look for a fight and then not get a fight and it runs out and you're just feeling bad. You want to make sure you get as much value as you can with it, and if you can, try and guarantee value with it. So for example, on defense, if there's a peek you want to go for, it's pretty good to say they're coming up C. It's nice to be able to pop your dash and go for one and dash away really quickly. Usually it's not as simple and as easy as that. Like if you know they're coming up C, you can go for that dash play guaranteed and know you're going to get value out of it, but sometimes maybe you don't know where they are, sometimes you got to gamble it, but I would say just doing as much as you can to get all the value out of it, very, very important. I'll shift away from the dash a bit because I was talking so much about the dash earlier, but I think utilizing Jett's smokes is super important as well. It's a super valuable resource to just be able to throw a small piece of cover in any direction you want on yourself, trying to one-way a spot. If you know that they're coming from a certain direction, making a one-way so that they're blind when they're coming out, it's really good. I think it's an underrated part of her kit. Like I said, I was talking so much earlier about the dash, I didn't talk about the smokes at all, but I still think you can get just an insane amount of value with them. Obviously you can dash into your smoke, but being able to create a bit of cover for yourself. Say for example, you're sitting on this site and they're trying to retake and they throw the dart. You can smoke the dart, that's number one. You can smoke the dart, that's really cool. But you could also smoke the ground and prevent yourself from being scanned by the dart, and then you can come out for an unexpected peek. So just being able to give yourself cover at any time with the smokes is really, really good, and I think something underrated that you could try and utilize more when you're playing Jett. For me, I just like giving opponents different looks that they haven't seen before. So for example, you can mix up your scaling. I was saying before on C, you could do like a straight dash or an updraft dash or something different. But I think even without utilizing the dash, you can do things like contact or go for an updraft. Just being able to mix things up, it's very dependent on what your teammates have as well. Say you have a breach, maybe you want to ask for a flash one time, maybe another time you want to ask for a straight stun across the site. I think just mixing things up and trying to cater to what your opponents are doing too. So if you know like they're tripping somewhere, asking for a shock on it or a breach clear. Just doing as much as you can to mix it up and counter your opponents at the same time. I think it's really nice as a duelist. It hurts your opponents a lot. I would say jiggling is good when you want information from your opponent. So this is like the A long line. Sometimes people sit on it as a pixel, but usually people jiggle it like this. It's nice because you can safely get info on your opponent. Say they're peeking down here, they peek, they see only your shoulder, they get scared and they shoot, bam, you know one's A lobby. You didn't take any damage doing your jiggle, or maybe you only took like 40 because he shot you once in the side. But it's usually a very safe way to get information without using your util. It's also nice to do when the bomb is down and say you're in a clutch, say your opponent tapped, maybe you want to throw a quick jiggle to see if they're off, or you can throw a shoulder where you don't even peek, but you show a little bit of the side of your body, maybe they get scared and shoot. It's very nice to throw in when you think your opponent might be scared or jittery and they're going to instantly shoot at the first thing they see. It's nice to throw in. I would say wide swing just when you want to fight. I don't think there's like any crazy like scenario that you'd want to go wide for. I think just in general, if you want to fight, it's nice to wide swing going full speed across the screen. Usually it's hard for your opponents to hit. Obviously they can hold for it and you can mix up your peaks, but I do think wide swinging is a good way to go when you're trying to take fights. You could go for the combination of the two. You go for a jiggle, and they think you're going to peek close, then you go very wide. Mixing up the movement and just using them when they feel appropriate. It's nice to add to your gameplay. For me, I like to use them with other util, try and get a nice little combo going so that I can get an easy fight. On C, I like to go off this little ledge here, a little bit of elevation, and then updraft. Because usually what people like to do is they'll smoke on the choke here, or they'll smoke in the mid site here, and they'll play behind it. They'll play a place like plat, they'll play here, waiting for the opponent to come in, or they'll play backside. So when you go for that updraft, maybe with a flash, you catch some people blind. They think they're behind the cover, but you're seeing them back there and you're killing them. I think going for some advantaged updraft fights with your knives that you wouldn't normally be able to go for with a gun, I think it's what you should go for when you pop them. I would say when someone is on top of you, go for that right click, but in, I think 9 out of 10 scenarios, you want to go for left clicks most of the time. Just get the refresh as best you can. Everyone loves a good little 5-knife ace, just spamming the left click. So go for that as much as you can. Only right click if they're super, super close. But pretty much, yeah, just try and go for advantaged fights where you're in the air, flying around, hard to hit. It's a very, very fun ability. For me, the monitor quality is super, super important, especially when you're on Duelist. You're working with a lot of quick reactions based on like things that you don't see for very long. So for example, maybe I'm dashing in the site and I want to do the quick like right left to clear both corners. Maybe on a worse monitor, I'm not going to be able to see the guy if he's tucked in this corner and I'm dashing in that direction. Maybe there'll be some screen tearing, I don't catch the guy. See people really quickly and make decisions based off that is super important, and having the right monitor to be able to do that and have everything be clear and distinct and precise, it's super convenient. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Tips and Tricks. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for watching this episode of ZOWIE Esports Class.